Uniwide Sales Incorporated was a retail operator in Metro Manila owned by Chinese-Filipino entrepreneur Jimmy Go. During the 90s, it was considered as the #1 retail store in the country, which employed 3,000 employees and indirectly provided jobs to 15,000 more through its trade suppliers and concessionaries. It was a household name back then. Almost everyone was in Uniwide because goods ranging from plates to canned goods to fresh meat, fish, and fruits were more affordable versus competitors. Uniwide sales hit its peak during the year 1997 before the Asian financial crisis with a net sale at 14.7 billion and was the undisputed go-to outlet of sari-sari stores and began its fall in 1998 until its demise several years later. In this video, we will talk about the timeline of events that would tell how the small bargain house grew to a giant retail operator and the chronology of events that led to its demise. The roots of Uniwide dates back to January 1975 when it was incorporated and established in Avenida Rizal in Binondo District as Uniwide Sales Textile Bargain House Center that sold textiles and clothing at bargain prices. With its masa appeal, the business rapidly expanded to include retail sales, real estate development, and theme park operations. With the success, the Go family expanded to ready-to-wear apparel, accessories, and then became a complete department store and supermarket chain. The company introduced the mass-oriented warehouse club concept in the country in 1988, establishing a chain of warehouse clubs in prime locations in the country in the next 2 years. The warehouse club was so popular that in 1988, Uniwide had to initiate measures to somehow limit the traffic in some of its stores during its annual promotional season. It was even criticized in the media one time in 1991 when it held a midnight sale that lasted up to 4 a.m. because it caused major traffic jams in Metro Manila. They even have a TV show from 1992 to 1999 in partnership with RPN9. They have a quiz show called Battle of the Brains. However, the introduction of the warehouse club concept also started the company's woes. Some of its assets in prime location, such as its abandoned building in Cubao, Quezon City, was destroyed by fire in 1996, and another unfinished building in Mandaue City, Cebu, that was supposedly a warehouse club was occupied by slum dwellers. Its remaining warehouse clubs are in Metro Mall in Las Piñas, Tarlac City, Malolos in Bulacan, Caloocan, Novaliches in Quezon City, and Sucat in Parañaque. These said branches were later became Super 8 Grocery Warehouse in 2006 when these warehouse clubs sold its stake. Before the 1997 Asian financial crisis, listed company Uniwide Holdings successfully raised $4 billion in its initial public offering from both domestic and international markets. Also, at its peak in 1996 and 1997, the Uniwide Group generated an annual cash flow of $20 billion, making it the single largest retail group in the country. In late 1997, the Uniwide Group, like many other businesses, was hit by the financial crisis which hit Asia and other business centers all over the world. As a result of the crisis, it was forced to scrap plans for its Uniwide Sales Coastal Mall in Parañaque, which was already 90% complete at that time. Its Dream World complex in Cavite, a department store in Cubao, and warehouse clubs in Bacolod, Cebu, and Cavite, along with 5 other shopping malls in Luzon. To help it weather the financial crisis, the Uniwide Group of the Go family went to the SEC for help. In 1998, it entered into corporate rehabilitation. At that time, the company's retail business had a network of 8 warehouse clubs and 2 department stores. Liquidity problems, however, affected earnings. Sales declined from its peak of 14.7 billion in 1997 to just about 4.3 billion in 2000. In 1999, Uniwide asked to be placed under receivership to give the enterprise temporary relief from its creditors. This is until such time that it has recovered from the blows of the financial crisis, restructure the conglomerate, streamline its operations, and settle its debts. However, Uniwide Group is lamenting that what the SEC did instead of rehabilitation is to chop the company. The term rehabilitation appears to be a misnomer in this case because the chronology of events ever since seemingly shows that there was no serious effort by the SEC to assist Uniwide in getting out of its financial rut. Company insiders note that no honest-to-goodness rehabilitation program was actually put in place, as the receivership committee formed to help Uniwide apparently had only one agenda from the start: to cannibalize the company and dispose of its assets. In 2013, however, the SEC ruled that the rehabilitation program was no longer viable and should be terminated. Uniwide's liabilities, according to the SEC, had gone up to $12.292 billion, but its total assets were estimated to be $2.726 billion only. Likewise, Uniwide's appeal for rehabilitation extension was said to have been strongly opposed by a majority of secured creditors. As early as of May 2013, the Securities and Exchange Commission had already ordered the dissolution and liquidation of Uniwide's assets. Furthermore, on October 26, 2017, based on an earlier memorandum from the Philippine Stock Exchange, all trading participants were informed of its decision to delist and remove from its official registry the shares of the Go family's real estate company Uniwide Holdings Incorporated. The delisting of the shares of the company will formally take effect on this date. The decision stemmed from the Uniwide's alleged failure to comply with the timely submission and disclosure of structured reportorial requirements, as prescribed in the Bourse's listing rules. In particular, PSE found Uniwide culpable of supposedly delaying or not filing its annual reports for the years 2013 to 2016 and quarterly reports starting 2014 up to June that year. The Uniwide Coastal Mall was envisioned in the 1990s to become the country's biggest shopping mall complex. It was built on a 10-hectare portion of Manila Bay Development Corporation's 40-hectare Central Business Park 2 in Parañaque City. The mall was 90% complete and was partially operational, with tenants already occupying the finished parts of the mall fronting Rojas Boulevard prior to the 1997 Asian financial crisis. The building is currently converted to a transport terminal for public utility vehicles from Batangas and Cavite. By 2006, Coastal Mall was superseded by SM Mall of Asia. In 1993, MBDC leased to businessman Jimmy Go a portion of the property fronting the road at the Central Business Park reclamation area in Parañaque. The contract was later amended to reduce to 10 hectares the area leased to Go, who assigned his rights and interests to Uniwide. Beginning April 2005, Uniwide started to default in the payment of monthly rentals. Go requested a reduction in rental rate and a temporary suspension of interest charges on installment payments. In 2007, MBDC also discovered that Uniwide had not been paying realty taxes on the improvements it made on the property, including the large concrete building of Uniwide Coastal Mall. MBDC sought arbitration, but Uniwide rejected this, citing the corporate rehabilitation proceedings at the Securities and Exchange Commission, but at that time, rehabilitation proceedings have already been terminated. MBTC filed in 2010 a complaint for unlawful detainer and damages before the Metropolitan Trial Court of Parañaque City. Its prayer was for Uniwide to be directed to vacate the leased premises, to pay the rentals in arrears, and reimburse MBDC for payments made on realty taxes on the land. Subsequently, Uniwide was ordered by the court to vacate the property, registered in the name of MBDC, a ruling which was upheld by Appellate Court in October 2012 with some modifications on the rental arrears Uniwide was ordered to make. Uniwide appealed the ruling before the Supreme Court. However, in October 2014, Metropolitan Trial Court Judge Ramsey Pichay ruled in favor of the ejectment case filed by the MBDC. The court padlocked the Coastal Mall, then had the goods and equipment inside it auctioned off. Go said in an unannounced auction, MBDC won the bid for only $30 million, when clearly the value of the goods seized would have easily exceeded $1 billion. On March 4, 2015, the Supreme Court issued an entry of judgment stating that the ejection of Uniwide has become final and executory. This means that the earlier decision of the Court of Appeals and the Metropolitan Trial Court ordering Uniwide to vacate the property had become final and executory after being recorded in the Book of Entries of Judgment. Quest for Justice. Today, Go is taking steps to rectify what he believes as the wrongs committed by the SEC-appointed committee, by his trusted employees, by the banks, by his financial advisor and lawyers, with the hope that the truth will come out and the public will know what really happened to Uniwide. All deeds, noble or evil, will be revealed at some point. This is how the wheels of justice grind when the good is rewarded and the bad condemned. The quest for justice has begun. Their crusade, bolstered by recently unearthed official documents that hint at something sinister behind the fall of the #1 retail chain in the country in just 1 year in 1997, when all its assets valued at 30 billion were wiped out and its value of stocks falling to below 1 peso from more than 7 pesos apiece. Go said getting back some of his properties or receiving compensation from the low valuation of his assets would just be gravy because he is really after getting justice. We hope that you learned a lot from this video. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.